Welcome to the National Indian Gaming Commission's Fiscal Year 2021 Gross Gaming Revenue Announcement, or GGR. My name is Justin Platt, and I'm the Chief Public Affairs Officer for the NIGC. This announcement is being pre-recorded in Washington, D.C., and will be available on our website at www.nigc.gov. Indian Gaming's 2021 GGR will be presented today by the Chairman of the National Indian Gaming Commission, Sequoia Silvermeyer, Vice Chair Ginny Hovland, and Chief Financial Officer Yvonne Lee. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce the Chairman of the National Indian Gaming Commission, Sequoia Silvermeyer.
Thank you, Justin. Welcome to the National Indian Gaming Commission's report on the fiscal year 2021 gross gaming revenue. I'm Sequoia Silvermeyer. I'm a member of the Cohari tribe from North Carolina, and I'm honored to serve as the National Indian Gaming Commission Chairman. Thank you for your interest in the NIGC's announcement of the fiscal year 2021 gross gaming revenue results. I'm joined for this announcement by my colleague on the Commission, Vice Chair Ginny Hovland, Chief Financial Officer Yvonne Lee, as well as the agency's Chief Public Affairs Officer, Justin Platt. Before we get to the big reveal, I'd like to say that in general, Indian gaming is doing very well. You've rebounded from the industry-wide challenges faced during the pandemic. If fiscal year 2021 has shown anything, it has demonstrated that Indian gaming is a resilient industry, thanks in part to the day-to-day oversight by tribal leaders and regulators, with the ability to adapt to change by having in place procedures to help their businesses through periods of adversity. Indian gaming is a mature industry, and a significant fluctuation, whether positive or negative, takes time for the industry to go back towards its normal trends. As we saw last year, the pandemic caused a significant fluctuation. I can't predict the future, but as I shared last year, I continue to be confident gaming operations are well positioned going forward to preserve the investments you've made in preparedness. And these investments are gains which have contributed to this year's revenues. But we also recognize this year's rebound has not been felt equally among all tribal operations. Indian gaming's broad footprint means the historic impact from the pandemic for all tribes presents unique challenges in different Indian gaming communities. While last year experienced a record number of permanent closures, there was also growth with new operations opening. The NIGC is committed to helping tribal governments and all tribal operations benefit from the lessons learned over the past 2.5 years. As we seek to strengthen the regulatory workforce's focus on preparedness, the industry has a responsibility to grow from the experiences of those who have forged the path in this area, so we preserve those lessons learned and ensure we retain that knowledge for future generations to come. What we are about to reveal shows your investments in preparedness have paid off. Last year, leadership had to make difficult decisions about how to fine-tune their businesses to make up for lost revenue and lost opportunities due to factors largely outside of their control. I've seen across the NIGC regions how tribes have taken a comprehensive approach to streamlining business operations. In areas impacting the casino floor, like incorporating evolving technology, new amenities, and rethinking gaming floor configurations, type, and number of gaming machines offered that are based on tribes' own decision-making. These are creative approaches that enhance both player experience as well as the bottom line. Now the part you've been waiting for, the fiscal year 2021 gross gaming revenue. For fiscal year 2021, revenues totaled $39 billion, an increase of 40% over fiscal year 2020, and a 13% increase compared to fiscal year 2019. Showing a strong upward trend overall, all of the 8 NIGC administrative regions experienced a fiscal year 2021 increase compared to fiscal year 2020. Individual increases among the 8 NIGC regions range from 56 to 28%. If you're interested in learning more about regional performance and other comparisons to fiscal year 2020, you can find graphics available for download on the NIGC website at www.nigc.gov. www.nigc.gov. For those who may not be familiar, the gross gaming revenue figure is an aggregate of revenue from 510 independently audited financial statements of 243 tribes across 29 states. The gross gaming revenue for an operation is calculated based on the amount wagered minus winnings returned to players and does not include operating expenses. As I mentioned before, fiscal year 21 revenue of $39 billion is the largest gross gaming revenue reported in the history of Indian gaming, and it is a signal the industry has rebounded in many areas. We have cause to celebrate the opportunities successful Indian gaming operations afford tribes to strengthen communities, invest in the future, and improve the quality of life for individual Native people and their families. Indian gaming success also often means benefits to surrounding communities and regional economies. Though, as recent history has taught us, we cannot always predict how global events impact our industry or will shape future returns. I'm now going to ask Chief Financial Officer Yvonne Lee to share more about what the fiscal year 2021 gross gaming revenue report of $39 billion means for the various NIGC regions. Following the Chief Financial Officer's comments, NIGC Vice Chair Jeannie Hovland will address the unequal pandemic recovery felt across the diverse Indian gaming industry.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon. My name is Yvonne Lee. I'm the Chief Financial Officer of the National Indian Gaming Commission. As the Chairman mentioned, fiscal year 21's GGR data represents numbers from 510 audited financial statements submitted to the NIGC. After receiving the audit financial statement submission from the tribes and gaming operations in accordance with IGRA and NIGC regulations, the NIGC audit staff reviews every financial statement to ensure compliance and accuracy, then turns over the data to the Finance Division for analysis. This process is a clear reflection of the cohesive partnership between tribal regulators, gaming operations, and the NIGC staff at both the regional and headquarters level. Slide number 1. Fiscal year 21's GGR of $39 billion marks the highest GGR for the Indian gaming industry. As the chart illustrates, the Indian gaming industry has been showing steady year-over-year increases for the past 20 years, except fiscal year 20, where the GGR decreased due to the closure of gaming operations for different lengths of time as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Slide number 2. This slide shows you the breakdown of GGR by region. All regions show a year-over-year increase when compared to fiscal year 20. This table also shows the comparison of fiscal year 21's GGR versus fiscal year 19 pre-pandemic GGR level. As you can see, the overall fiscal year 21 GGR was $4.4 billion, about 13% higher than the pre-pandemic fiscal year 19 GGR of $34.6 billion. Please bear in mind that the year-over-year GGR change by region should not be used as a direct indicator of the local economy in any specific region. Many other factors could also have an impact on the GGR at the regional level, such as new gaming operations, expansions or renovations to existing operations, temporary or permanent closures, or changes in the operations fiscal year. These factors could have impact on the regional GGR number as well. Slide number 3. This map shows the geographic location of NIGC's 8 regions, their respective GGR share in fiscal year 21, and the number of gaming operations in each region. The numbers in the parentheses represent fiscal year 20's information for your comparison purposes. Slide number 4. This slide shows the fiscal year 21 GGR by revenue range. The cylinder on the right shows the percentage of revenue, and the cylinder on the left represents the percentage of operations in each revenue range. As this chart illustrates, Approximately 8% of gaming operations reported more than 250 million of GGR in fiscal year 21, and their aggregate revenues made up more than half of the total GGR. That's the top portion of both cylinders. If you look at the bottom, 55% of tribal gaming facilities reported less than 25 million in revenues, and this group represents about 6% of the total GGR share. After this announcement, you can also find the fiscal year 21 GGR graphics posted on the NIGC website, www.nigc.gov, for your reference. Now, I would like to turn it over to the NIGC Vice Chair, Jeannie Hovland.
Thank you, Yvonne. Halkota, Chante Washte Anape Chuzapi, Jeannie Hovland Amachiapi, Isante Oyate Amatanchto. Hello, friends. I greet you all with a good heart. My name is Jeannie Hovland, and I'm a member of the Flanter Santee Sioux Tribe, and I serve as the Vice Chair of the National Indian Gaming Commission. I want to echo the Chairman's words when I say I'm honored to speak to you today. The industry has much to celebrate and be proud of, as a gross gaming revenue in fiscal year 21 was 13% higher than before the pandemic, with 43 gaming operations reporting GGR greater than $250 million and accounting for more than 50% of total revenues. This year's revenues underscore the wide diversity geographically, demographically, and financially in gaming operations across Indian country. Tribes engage in gaming for a variety of reasons and have different ways to define an operation's success. Not all gaming operations saw as great of a rebound in revenues. Location, regional dynamics around competition, and other regional economic characteristics like workforce and tourism opportunities can all shape operators' individual strategies and the pace of recovery. The pandemic has meant different things for those influences that cannot be explained fully by the NIGC's GGR announcement. For example, some tribes may still need time to recover based on the risk mitigation measures needed at the local level. As the chairman and I have noted on our travels, some casino operations have only as recently as July been able to open their gaming operations back to 100% due to the operation's social distancing measures during the pandemic. For some tribes, maintaining or creating jobs during a time of national uncertainty remained a priority over maximizing profits. Still, other tribes may have had revenue increases limited by the financial reinvestments that were required during the pandemic. When taken together, these challenges negotiating a clear path to achieving and maintaining revenue growth may seem daunting, but it's clear. Tribes know what is best for their communities. Thank you for the opportunity to share some words. Now I'd like to turn it back over to Chairman Simmermeyer to share his thoughts on how regulatory preparedness can help preserve Indian gaming's rebound. Pidamiye.
Thank you, Vice Chair Hovland. So the question I anticipate before many tribal decision makers is how to preserve the rebound in gaming revenue to the best extent possible. While the Indian gaming industry faces the lingering effects of a business climate impacted by the pandemic and world events, and the financial uncertainties the climate and events have meant for all industries globally, tribal lawmakers, their operations, and their regulators still have many challenges to overcome. As you may have heard, the best offense is good defense. For the industry, regulatory workplace preparedness is a proven means to identify risks to and anticipate opportunities for Indian gaming's continued successful regulation. The Indian Gaming Regulatory Act's purposes include monitoring and enforcing compliance of tribal gaming operations in order to protect Indian gaming as a means of generating tribal revenue for tribal economic development, self-sufficiency, and strong tribal governments. Tribal regulators are key to those efforts and share a common regulatory goal with the NIGC of protecting tribal assets derived from gaming. The NIGC works closely each year with the more than 5,000 regulators to help tribes prepare for challenges, unexpected or not, by offering tools and training to help ensure workplace regulatory capacity is not diminished by illness, lack of knowledge, or attrition. We also acknowledge how hard you've worked over the past year to get to the point where customers are, for the most part, returning confident in the integrity of your gaming operations and excited to see what's next. This truly highlights the strength of the tribal gaming industry. As the industry prepares to preserve a rebound in revenues, it must also preserve regulatory talent. Launched this past spring, our 3 for 35 campaign promotes preparedness in the regulatory community's workforce. Campaign is NIGC's commitment to assess and plan for the next generation of regulators by encouraging all Indian gaming regulatory bodies to identify risks and anticipate opportunities for continued successful regulation. The campaign's 3 components focus on strategic recruitment, knowledge retention, and skills planning. Together, preparedness in these areas build overall workforce resilience and also strengthen a regulatory body's efforts to readily address new threats that now could include both health and safety as well as technological threats. The campaign also serves as a reminder to the public that 35 years ago, the federal courts upheld the governmental nature of Indian gaming. This year and into fiscal year 2023, NIGC has and will continue to review and update where necessary existing guidance in the evolving areas of technology, including standing up the NIGC Technology Division in order to help combat more sophisticated ransomware attacks and cybersecurity crimes. Since 2020, the Commission's work to develop recourses and policies across broad preparedness challenges like pandemic health and safety issues and critical event response for active shooter threats necessitated creating a new NIGC position of Safety and Occupational Health Manager in order to help the NIGC expand its environmental, health, and safety initiatives. It's my sincere hope these actions have empowered tribal regulators to preserve Indian gaming's rebound and prepare for future events. Having a prepared regulatory workforce serves Indian gaming well, both in good times and bad times. But the industry can always look ahead for areas of new growth, new operations, and new opportunities. As I have traveled and communicated virtually and in person with many of your tribal communities, I'm happy to say I've seen examples of continued growth and expansion of gaming throughout Indian country. As your operations adapt, change, and grow, the NIGC remains committed in providing regulatory tools and policy guidance crucial for continued success. Congratulations on a great year overall. Gross gaming revenues of $39 billion are the highest ever for tribal operations. I salute your hard work. I'm also honored by your sacrifice over the past 2 years. It is a testament to the industry's resilience and stands as a clear signal Indian gaming can preserve its rebound. Thank you.